Today, as a Science Ninja team tries to escape the grasp of the Sundew Mecha, Galactor's true plan finally comes to light. This is Gatchaman number 2.
I'm a geek. I use stop bubbles when I speak. I'm a freak because she just see that for me. I'm unique. There is only one of me. I'm complete, so I really don't care what you think of me. I'm a geek.
Hello there, Comic Clan, and welcome to Comics on the Cross, the greatest YouTubers you've never heard of. I, of course, am your host for today, Cross, and today we are looking at Gatchaman number 2 coming from Mad Cave Studios. But before we get started, if you are enjoying the content from Comics on the Cross, please go down below and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future content, whether that's our comic book reviews, our indie comic book club, or Let's Talk Comics. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on some of the amazing content we've got coming in the next few weeks. Also, if you could hit that like button, that would really help us out in the YouTube algorithm, and we'd really appreciate it. And we also did cover Gatchaman number 1 here on the channel, so if you want to check that out before today's video, the card will be up there in the corner, make sure to give that a click. But let's get ready and dive on into today's issue. Gatchaman number 2 is written by Cullen Bunn, with artwork from Batista, colours are by Lopez, and lettering from Beaudoin. Our issue begins with Mara, the leader of the Science Ninja team's beta team, as she stands and looks at the G1 costume, the eagle suit that is worn by the leader of the Science Ninja team. She looks at it, wonders and waits as they await reports coming in from the current Science Ninja team and whether or not they have been successful in their seemingly hopeless battle with the Sundew Mecha that is currently attacking the city. As the mecha threatens to tear the God Phoenix apart, our heroes are seemingly out of options. Ken makes the call for the team to use the Firebird technique in a last-ditch attempt to burn their way free of this giant mecha. Joe voices an immediate concern about this, as this could really severely damage the ship and risks killing the entire team. Ken agrees. There is a major risk here, but they're guaranteed to die if they do nothing. At least this way, they stand a chance. The Science Ninja team use the Firebird and are able to break themselves free from the mecha's grasp. However, this does severely damage the ship. Thankfully though, all of them survive the attack. The mecha is so badly damaged that it retreats from its attack on the city, and as much as the Science Ninja team wants to pursue them and follow them back to their base of operations, the God Phoenix is just too badly damaged and desperately needs maintenance. So they return back to their headquarters to regroup. However, the battle has done exactly what it was meant to do. It has caused a massive distraction and allowed Galactor to carry out their true intentions. In the halls of the Alarian Dynamics building, Dr. Mueller, who is being escorted to safety from the battle that is waging overhead of them, all of a sudden, one of the women that is with him attacks and takes out the guards, and then pulls a gun on him, telling him that it's quite an honour to be kidnapped by one of the Devil Stars. As the Science Ninja team return back to their headquarters, they're in the middle of discussing what happened during the mission, when all of a sudden it's interrupted by Mara running up and fully embracing Ken with a look of joy on her face. She then seems to remember herself and kind of lets go, and both of them look a little bit embarrassed and flustered, and we're definitely hinting at there's a little bit of a connection, possibly hinting at a little bit of an upcoming romance between the two of them. Although June is standing in the background looking a little bit less than pleased at the situation also. So we might not have just a romance, but also a love triangle possibly in the future of Gatchaman. However, the rest of the beta team also come to meet the Science Ninja team as well, and they all interact and embrace and welcome them back. The beta team highly praise them for the way they handled the situation and are grateful to see that they've all returned in one piece. Dr. Nambu also comes to meet the Science Ninja team and to greet them as they've arrived back and to update them on what he's found out about the situation with Galactor. He dismisses the beta team, which Mara doesn't seem to be too happy about, and gives him a little bit of a side eye. I don't know if she just wants to spend more time around Ken, if it's building on that, or if there's something more going on here. However, the conversation continues and Dr. Nambu tells the Science Ninja team that he knows what Galactor are up to. That while the attack was going on with the mecha, they also had a kidnapping of Dr. Mueller from a building not too far from the attack. They also have gotten reports of other scientists that have been kidnapped, and they all seem to coincide with other Galactor attacks. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Birdcat seems to be pretty pleased with himself about how things have gone today. He's celebrating the fact that their shock and awe tactics of Galactor have managed to spread fear and disharmony and disunity amongst the people and the population, while also kidnapping Dr. Mueller. Well, no one else is any the wiser. No one else seems to have any idea what they've done. But to know what their next step is, and what their next mission will be, he has to go and confer with Leader X. The comic doesn't really tell us much about Leader X at this time, but here's a little bit of his backstory from the original show. I don't know whether or not this will stay canon or whether or not they'll retcon it, but I was unaware of who he was coming into this, so this gives a little bit of context to it, so for any of you who may also be wondering. Leader X comes from the planet Selector. He is an alien from the Andromeda Nebula that has travelled to Earth under the command of his higher-ups, with the order to conquer Earth. He's the one that's responsible for taking a mafia organisation that really wasn't doing much and turning them into the terrorist organisation that we now know as Galactor. Although Leader X commends Birdcats for his victories today, he senses arrogance within him and advises him to be wary of it, as arrogance can lead to a downfall and will lead them to failure. Cats, however, tries to reiterate to X exactly what has happened today, exactly what they've accomplished, and how confident he feels in their successes, and the chaos that they caused, and that no one could possibly know what their true goals were. But as Katz decides to try and tell X that he's decided upon who their next target should be, Leader X barks him back down into place, reminding him who the real leader is, who is truly in charge, as he tells him that he, and he alone, will decide who the next target is, and that Katz is merely his weapon here on Earth. And like any weapon, he will go as directed, and only as directed. Galactor's next target is revealed to be Karenai City, the home of the most advanced space research facility in the world. At the facility currently is Dr. Emi Aoki and her team, who are trying to analyse a radio signal that they've received from a star that they have not long ago discovered. But while the team is in the middle of discussing this radio transmission and what it could possibly mean, alarms start to blare in the building, and they are all of a sudden under attack. Quickly, as everyone starts to run for cover and run for shelter, a familiar looking blonde woman seems to grab a hold of Dr. Aoki and escorts her out of the room to head towards a shelter where they can hide until the attack is over. As the mecha begins to attack, the God Phoenix arrives to do battle with it once again. But this time, the Science Ninja team knows what Galactor's plan is. Only Ryu is on the God Phoenix piloting it. The rest of the team are heading into the facility to cut off Galactor's plan and stop them from kidnapping another scientist. The team finds that it's another one of the Devil Stars that has captured Dr. Aoki. And as they arrive, she attempts to use the Doctor as a human shield. But the Devil Star is quickly dispatched by June, who is able to take her down. With the Devil Star captured, the Science Ninja team attempt to persuade her to help them stop Galactor in their evil plot. They want to know the location of Galactor's headquarters. Unfortunately, the Devil Star doesn't know that information, it was never given out, but she is quite willing to help them in their attempt to stop them and can give them the location of where the scientists are being held. Wondering why she's so willing to help them, she tells the Science Ninja team because it's her best chance of survival. She is now considered a liability to Galactor. Her life is forfeit as far as they are concerned because she has been captured. She lets them know that once she had the scientist Dr. Aoki, she was meant to contact the fellow Devil Stars to get the location to meet them and bring the good Doctor. The issue comes to a close with the Science Ninja team asking Dr. Aoki for assistance, that she may need to help them to get to this rendezvous location. And June puts on the attire of the Devil Star to go undercover and attempt to find the other scientists. I have to say I'm thoroughly enjoying the story of the Gatchaman series a lot more than I expected to. I didn't come into this as a fan of Gatchaman previously, of any of the previous properties, of anything that they'd done before. I was aware of them, like I could recognize the costumes, but I didn't know what to expect, and I was worried that my only real connection to it and my only real way of thinking about it was it felt very Power Rangers-esque. The heroes in the colourful suits jumping into action, and I was worried with it being an old 1970s property and with that connection to, in my mind, to Power Rangers, that it was going to come across very one note and very, we're fighting the villain of the week sort of thing. And I don't know why I initially thought that, but I'm very grateful to say that that's not what's been happening. The writing has been very stellar. There's been a lot of setup, a lot of intrigue, a lot of mystery to what's going on. The fact of that we're fighting Galactor, but we really still don't know what Galactor's full plan is. We know they're kidnapping scientists, but we don't know why. We have met Leader X, but we don't know too much about him and about what he's actually doing, and I'm wondering if there's certain things from the old show and the old movies that are going to be canon in this, or if it is taking a brand new pace. Also as well, going into issue 3, we have now set up for an espionage story as June becomes one of the Devil Stars and attempts to infiltrate, and I was not expecting that in the slightest. I was expecting, colourful suited heroes fighting villains in the street sort of thing. I wasn't expecting espionage to be any part of it. And I'm really intrigued to see where that goes, and I'm really intrigued to see June get the spotlight, because, typically with these sorts of things, the female character was always pushed to the background and wasn't really a main focus, and I'm very intrigued to see her get a little bit of focus in this next issue, as it all rests on her, really, to find out where the scientists are. We also have a little bit of romance possibly brewing, as we saw with Ken and Mara, which I wasn't expecting either. I wasn't expecting any sort of dynamic like that, but already, seeing the couple of panels we got of them together, it's done very well. It's done very cute and very adorable, and I'm very intrigued by it. And so far what we've seen of the characters, I'm finding them very likable. There's nothing much to go against them at the moment. The only thing I'm hoping going forward, especially as we're going to start doing this arc with June, is that we might start to spend a little bit more time with each of the individual members of the Science Ninja team and get to know them a little bit more. I'm intrigued to see their personalities starting to be on show as they get individual chances to shine, and not to be one note characters, and thankfully from what I've seen and from what they've set up for the next issue, I don't think Colin Bunn's doing that. I think Colin's got a very good story in mind so far, and I can't wait to see where he takes it in the upcoming issues. This is not a series I expected to be picking up. This is not a series I thought I'd be like, yeah, this is one I definitely want to continue reading and see where it goes. But they've definitely grabbed my attention. And the artwork is just absolutely stunning again, from Chris Batista and from Carlos Lopez. It just looks absolutely stunning. It's a very beautifully drawn comic that really does feel like that throwback to old school manga and anime style as well. I think it's got a nice blend of the two. Being no real major anime fan or manga fan, that's me saying that, so take that with a pinch of salt. I don't want to offend any manga readers out there or anime watchers, because I've dabbled, but I'm not a massive fan of those genres. So, but for me, it seems like it's a really good blend of stuff. I'm honestly very happy with how this book is turning out, and I really cannot wait to see what happens next in Gatchaman. And I hope you're all enjoying it too. I hope you're all enjoying the series if you're checking it out. If you've not picked it up, I would highly recommend giving it a try. If you like that old school Japanese storytelling, if you like the old superhero stories, if you like anything like that sort of idea, I think this is something you'll very much enjoy, so I would highly recommend it. But for me, that's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for our review of Gatchaman. I hope if you've not picked it up, you'll go and check it out. But if you're reading the series so far, what do you think of it so far? Would you recommend it to people? Do you think it's worth continuing? Are you excited to see where they're going with it in a slightly modern take on the Gatchaman series? Also as well, let us know in the comments below any other comics that you want to see us cover here on the channel. We would love to know what stuff that you're all excited about and want to see us cover. Also as well, if you want, you can absolutely go and check out our Patreon. There is no need for you to do that, but if you feel like you want to support us further, you can go over there and get access to our reviews as soon as we have them rendered. As soon as this video is set up and ready, before it drops on YouTube, it is up on Patreon. You also get access to our Indie Comic Book Club a whole month before it goes live here on YouTube, and I'll get the raw, uncut, recorded footage of pre-show and after-show for our Let's Talk Comics show. Look for the next show of that coming. If this is coming out on time, it should be coming out tomorrow, where myself and Nitro talk with David Peppo, so keep an eye out for that. But thank you so much for joining me for today. Hope you all have a good one, and remember, it's a good week to be a geek. Take care. I'll see you all later. Peace.